Godzilla Minus One is just an absolute masterpiece. So yeah, a few days ago I watched Godzilla Minus One in theaters and I instantly fell in love with the movie. I even got the poster. I mean, look how cool that is. And yeah, I gotta say, to me that's how a Godzilla movie should feel. And yeah, it's pretty much the perfect Godzilla movie. But I'm not gonna reveal too much on my opinion because that's what we're going to find out in this review. So yeah, here we go. So yeah, first let's talk about the CGI in this movie. It was incredible. It was fantastic. Godzilla's design especially is probably one of my favorite designs. I think it's kind of tied with the Heisei design, but to be honest, it is kind of a modern version of the Heisei design. It was incredible in general. The fire, the destruction scenes, they all looked so realistic. There was only, I think, one shot which looked less good. One scene, to be more precise. I think that was the introduction where there was Godzilla in another form. I'm not gonna say too much on it. Yeah, it didn't always look great. I feel like it could have needed a bit more polishing, but in general, the rest of the movie was fantastic. And I think I only noticed that this scene was not that great after watching the rest of the movie, because the rest of the movie was fantastic. I mean, the movie cost 15 million and it looks like it had a budget of like 150 million. There are so many American movies which are just put into shame by this movie, and these movies from Hollywood, for example Marvel movies such as the Marvels, they costed like, I don't know, 20 times, no, maybe not 20 times, but more than 10 times the budget of this movie, and they look terrible compared to it. Like, the CGI was incredible. And also, every scene where Godzilla is in the water, those are probably my favorite scenes. They made Godzilla again a sea monster and it just looks so great. I don't think I can put it into words. The main characters are beautifully written. For example, our main character, who is an ex-kamikaze pilot, pretends that his plane somehow got damaged and makes a stop landing on an island called Odo, where they check, and yeah, there was nothing wrong with the plane. Of course, he was just scared of, sacrificing himself, which is very understandable. But yeah, then when he gets back home, everybody kind of assaults him for being a coward, and yeah, they're kind of assaulting him for just trying to survive, which is also a very good criticism to the time and situation many people were in. And we're gonna take a better look at that more forwards into the video. But yeah, in general, this guy suffers from trauma. He's guilty, he feels guilty, and his character arc is truly beautiful. And also the other main characters, they're just very well done. Yeah, our main character and his crew, they are a very good team. They have a very good dynamic. And also the character played by Minami Hamabe, I probably butchered that, I'm sorry. She plays it so well. Yeah, in general, the acting in this movie is really good. There was not a single performance which was bad. Sometimes the acting was a bit over the top, but I didn't mind it at all. I mean, I notice it sometimes, but I didn't mind it at all, because I think sometimes the over-the-top acting was needed to show more emotion. And to be honest, in every Godzilla movie, there is a bit of melodrama in that sense. For example, the first Gojira has a lot of melodrama. So yeah, I didn't really mind that. And it was generally great casting, great written characters, and also good acting. The next thing great about Godzilla Minus One is the music and sound design. Now, first of all, the sound design is really, really good. Hearing the traditional Godzilla roar from 1954 over the big screen with some incredible speakers, it's something that every Godzilla fan should experience at least once in a lifetime. And coming to the music was great. They used quite a lot of the classical themes from the older Godzilla movies, and I think it was also something every Godzilla fan should experience. There is a scene where Godzilla is in the water where the background music is kind of like a siren sound, not really music, but it works perfectly. It builds up tension and it's just so good. And yeah, some people are saying some teams might have been fitting better to some situations. I understand what they mean. There are some teams in Godzilla's history and movies which might have fit better for some scenes, but I didn't really mind this because the music was still great and really fitting for all of the scenes. So in general, yeah, they could have chosen better teams, but I don't think it's that bad. And they also had some own teams which all were really great. And as I said, Godzilla's roar, the traditional roar on the big screen, every Godzilla fan should experience that. This movie also had some great messages. For example, obviously there's a protest against nuclear weapons, but I think that's a protest that kind of appears in every Godzilla movie. Something that was also different from other Godzilla movies and kind of stood out from there were other messages. For example, it generally was a protest against their own government during the Second World War, where they kind of mistreated the soldiers and the citizens. And it was also a protest against many different things. And there were also two major themes which were quite important in the movie, being the first one, self-forgiveness and guilt feelings, and the second one being hope. Now, the first one, as I said, the main character is an ex-kamikaze pilot who feels guilty for not sacrificing himself. And this kind of haunts him throughout the full movie. And I think his character arc is a perfect example that shows how you should forgive yourself. And yeah, then of course, hope, because for Japan, post-World War II was probably the worst situation in their full history, and Godzilla showing up at that time also definitely didn't help. And so in this movie, the message is kind of that if you hope, if you are never hopeless, if you put your things together, if you help other people, if people in general help each other, you can achieve great things and even escape the darkest time possible, which is just a great message. So yeah, let's come to the final test. I think this movie is fantastic. Probably one of my favorite Godzilla movies of all time. I only saw it once and I'm gonna rewatch it this weekend, so maybe it's a bit too early to precisely say where it ranks, but I'm just gonna say it has such great potential to become my favorite Godzilla movie of all time. Especially considering that this was my first Toho Godzilla movie. It's definitely going to hold a special place in my heart in the future, and to be honest, it kind of already has a special place in my heart, and in general it was fantastic. It is also the highest rated Godzilla movie on IMDb, so yeah, I think it looks incredible. I'm so hyped for this. Yeah, but that's it. Did you already watch -1, or are you hyped for it if you didn't watch it yet? Tell me in the comments, and yeah, see ya guys. Bye.